Well, hello there, you're watching the official Theme Park Fans YouTube channel and welcome back to another video. As you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the Alton Towers Dungeon. Now, before I talk about the Alton Towers Dungeon, I'm going to explain to you guys what a dungeon attraction is. So, if you don't know what a dungeon attraction is, then you can find a dungeon attraction in a lot of major cities. We've got quite a few in the UK. We've got the London Dungeon, we've got the Blackpool Tower Dungeon, we've got the York Dungeon, we've got the Edinburgh Dungeon, and we've got the Warwick Castle Dungeon, and finally the Alton Towers Dungeon. So that's 6. In Europe, you've got the Amsterdam Dungeon, you've got the Hamburg Dungeon, and I believe there is a Berlin Dungeon. I think there might be a Berlin Dungeon, but I'm probably wrong on that one. I definitely know that there's an Amsterdam one and a Hamburg Dungeon. And you've also got one out in America. I think it's called the San Francisco Dungeon. And yeah, so there's one in America. So for each dungeon, like, you'll have basically in every dungeon, so whether that's the London Dungeon, the Amsterdam Dungeon, Edinburgh Dungeon, you'll have pretty much 3 scenes which stay the same. So that's the Plague Doctor scene, the Torture Chair scene, and the Courtroom scene. But each dungeon has its own, like, specific scenes. And so, for example, the London Dungeon, because I know the London Dungeon quite well, you've got a scene about Jack the Ripper in there. You've got a scene about Sweeney Todd in there. You got a scene about Guy Fawkes in there. And so basically all the dungeons across the world have specific scenes which are based around the city that the dungeon is based in. And again, it goes like, for example, another dungeon attraction, the Blackpool Tower Dungeon. There's a scene in there about the skip pool smugglers. So, as I mentioned, each dungeon will have specific scenes. So anyway, guys, I'm going to talk to you guys about the Alton Towers Dungeon now. It is kind of a long review. So, if you want to do the Alton Towers Dungeon without any spoilers, then I wouldn't recommend watching past this point, because I will be talking about the scenes in the Alton Towers Dungeon. So basically what I'll do is I'll give you guys a few seconds, like, to disappear, so you don't hear or watch any spoilers. Okay, the few seconds start now. Okay, if you haven't gone at this point, then the spoilers start from here. So, the entrance to the Alton Towers Dungeon is pretty similar to the entrance for what used to be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory ride and Toyland Tours. Now, when you go into the Alton Towers Dungeon, you have a ticket booth to the left, and this is where you can purchase your time slot entry. And if you purchase your time slot on the day, this will cost you £7.50. However, if you book it in advance, it'll cost you £5. So I recommend booking your time slot online, because not only do you save £2.50, but you also get your guaranteed choice of time slot for the day. Now, as you're waiting for the dungeon, as you're waiting for your dungeon experience, there's a photo opportunity point where you put your head in the dungeon stocks, and you'll find this at all the dungeon attractions across the world, especially the London Dungeon and the Blackpool Tower Dungeon, which I've done. And obviously, camera takes a photo, and as of March 2019, you do get a free digital. God, I can't even say digital. You get a free digital photo, a free. I'm like a broken record. A free dungeons. This video is a fail. But anyway, yeah, you get what I mean. It's a dungeon themed digital photo, and then you carry on waiting for a few minutes, and then you'll get the usual dungeon announcement, which says, switch off your phones, don't touch the actors, all that, that's your usual dungeon announcement, and then the doors open. So the first scene in the Alton Towers Dungeon is the courtroom scene. Now, when I stepped into this scene for the first time, I was thinking, this is a bit weird, because usually, like, if you've been in, like, the London Dungeon or the Blackpool Tower Dungeon, the courtroom is usually towards the end of the experience, and, like for example, the London Dungeon, the courtroom scene in there is, like, it's the second to last scene before you have the cage finale scene, so it was a bit weird having the courtroom scene first, but you meet the Bishop of Stafford, and in this scene you can usually get picked on. So the actor will pick 3 people from the group, and he'll do his courtroom acting and all that. And I found this scene to be really funny, and it was really funny. And for me, it started the Alton Towers Dungeon experience off on the right path. So that was the first scene. The second scene, and the second scene was the boat ride. Now, I was really interested in seeing what they did with the boat ride, and I was pretty impressed with it. I was really impressed with it. Like the first bit of the boat ride was kind of spooky because there were no lights on, and I was like, oh, what's gonna pop out of me? And also, going past the scenes on the boats, they were pretty gruesome. Like there was an animatronic of a man in a, like, it's like a cauldron, like this man being tortured in the cauldron, and it was just really gruesome to look at. I know it's pretend, but to think that's one of the punishments that they did, like, what was it, 400, 500 years ago, it just sends shivers down your spine. And also, while I was on the boat ride, I was just sat there thinking, this needs to be Toyland Tours, this needs to be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and both of those themes were really happy and bouncy, especially Toyland Tours. And now it's a creepy, chilling theme, and I'm just like, yeah, you've ruined my childhood, Alton Towers. But anyway, so the boat ride is pretty much the same from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's on the same path, but with dungeon scenes. And yeah, so on to the third scene now. And I was a bit confused about this scene. I didn't get it because I think we were on the second to last boat, and like the actor was already talking, so I couldn't understand what was going on. But if I was in the first boat, then maybe I would have understood that scene a bit more. So hopefully the next time I do the Alton Towers Dungeon, hopefully I'm on the first boat, first or second boat maybe, and then I might understand the scene a bit more. So anyway, moving on to the fourth scene now, and the fourth scene is the torture chair scene. So if you've been in, like, the London Dungeon, the Blackpool Tower Dungeon, then it's pretty much the same, really. The actor in the torture chair scene picks 2 people out from the group. One sits in a cage and one sits on the torture chair. And the actor, shows the group the torture equipments that they used years ago. So that's pretty much the same as the London Dungeon and the Blackpool Tower Dungeon and all that. Anyway, so the fifth scene, what was the fifth scene now? God, I can't remember. What was it? Was it Dick Turpin? Yeah, it was. So the fifth scene was Dick Turpin. Now, this scene was very familiar to the Sweeney Todd scene, because you sit in chairs and you got someone behind the bar, it's a woman, and she goes on about Dick Turpin and all that, and the lights go off, and you sat there in your chair, and you just hear Dick Turpin walking. it isn't an actor, but it's just like, you know, sound effects. And you have Dick Turpin whispering things down your ears while you're sat in a chair. So it is very similar to the Sweeney Todd scene at the London Dungeon. And then, like, you have, like, what is it? You have effects like brushing the back of your head and all that stuff. And right towards the end, the chairs tilt back. And, yeah, that scene was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting indeed. Now moving on to is it the sixth? I think it's the sixth scene now. And the sixth scene is the Plague Doctor scene. So, again, it's the same. It's practically the same scene from the London Dungeon, the Blackpool Tower Dungeon, Warwick Castle Dungeon, you know. It's pretty much the same. Again, an actor picks out someone from your group to sit in the not the torture chair, sorry, in the chair, and then the Plague Doctor. Well, it isn't really the Plague Doctor. It's the Plague Doctor's assistant who wraps the curtain around, and you have the sound effects in there. You have the leeches under the seats. So that was pretty interesting. But again, it's the same as the London Dungeon. I really do sound like a broken record in this video. So anyway, the final scene, which for me, if you watch the Alton Towers opening day vlog, the last scene was the best scene, and it was the Molly Lee scene. And now this the Molly Lee scene was very similar to Jack the Ripper scene at the London Dungeon. You have someone walking around there telling you about Molly Lee, how children ran around back in the day saying, what's it saying? I think it's, Molly Lee, you can't catch us. I got it, I got it, guys. That's what the actor says towards the end of his acting bit, and you have the lights flickering on and off while he's walking around talking to you about Molly Lee. Molly Lee is the ghost of Burslem. But yeah, that's what he said. I know, at this point I don't make any sense at all. But anyway, the lights go out and they come back on and the actor's gone. And then they like flicker on and off again, and then it plunges into darkness again, and then you just have Molly Lee coming at random people. Now, the first time I saw Molly Lee's ghost, I was like, whoa, Molly Lee's ghost, and like it really like shocked me. I was like, whoa, and yeah, that scene was just really good. And then so like Molly Lee comes round, I think is it 2 or 3 times, and then the lights go off again. The lights come back on again, and the actor who was there talking to you about Molly Lee is there. He reappears, and then that's the end of your Alton Towers Dungeon experience. So I know I didn't make a lot of sense in this video, but I hope you can kind of get a gauge. You see, I don't even make sense. So anyway, I'm gonna tell you what I really think of the Alton Towers Dungeon. So, in my vlog, I said, I believe I said it in my vlog, that I think it's better than the Blackpool Tower Dungeon, and I really do think that maybe one day it might be my favourite dungeon, because at the moment my favourite dungeon is the London Dungeon. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like the acting was really top notch. I think we had a really good run through. As I mentioned, my favourite scene was the Molly Lee scene at the end. And I think Alton Towers have done a really, really good job with this. Because, you know, when they announced it, I think it was September or October last year, and I was thinking, how are they going to do this? And like, because you've got the boat ride from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and also you got the what was the Mike TV area, and I was just really interested to see what they would like how they would do it. But hats off to Alton Towers, because they have done a really good job with the Alton Towers Dungeon. And as I said in the vlog, and I'll say it again, I'll give the Alton Towers Dungeon an 8 out of 10 rating. So there we are, guys. And that's my thoughts, review on the Alton Towers Dungeon. I know I didn't make a lot of sense in this video because I kind of, you know, what's that word? You know, I just got my words muddled up and everything, and I've kind of gone and I've said quite a lot. But there we go. So thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this review of the Alton Towers Dungeon, then please give this video a like. Be sure to subscribe if you are new around here. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so if you could hit that subscribe button, that would mean the world to me. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page. As always, our Facebook page link is in the description below, so please go check that out and give it a like. And yeah, there's not much else to say really, but if you've been in the Alton Towers Dungeon, did you like it? Did you think it could be improved? Comment below, because I'd be really interested to see what you guys think of the Alton Towers Dungeon. But if you haven't been in it yet, then you can still comment below whether you're excited or you're feeling scared about it. I'd be really interested to see your comments, guys. But anyway, that's it for another video. I'm not sure when the next video will be out, but this video has come out on Friday, so I'll probably try and get another video out for Friday for you guys. But yeah, that's no guarantees really, but I'll try and get another video out for you guys next Friday. So I'm Wardonian. Thank you for watching, Theme Park fans, and it's time to close the video down. Bye guys, thanks for watching.